And, hold up. Let me get this up. And so, alright, I'll get into the news for today. There, usually you'll see the news. I'll post like the podcast number. This is episode number 6. So that's the number after 5. Um, and, hold up. Let me find this shit. Alright. Alright, so, on this, guess it kind of shorts out when it gets brighter. So we'll keep it a little dim. So, okay, first up we have NFL contracts paying homegrown players first before bringing in big free agent money. So that's interesting because that's like a team like my favorite team, the Indianapolis Colts. Our GM Chris Ballard is telling players, if we draft you or we sign you as an undrafted free agent, you'll be sure, like, if you play well, you respect the team, you respect the culture, you'll be guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but you'll be paid your dues. Like, if you put in your time, you'll be paid accordingly. And that's interesting because he's done that with players like Kenny Moore. Quentin Nelson's going to get a deal. Ryan Kelly's going to get a deal. That's very interesting because he's not doing what the previous GM in Indianapolis, Ryan Grigson, did, where he would bring in all kinds of big-name free agents like Trent Cole, and they wouldn't pan out. And it's kind of like Andre Johnson. Didn't pan out. And, that's smart because that allows the Colts to show the players that they'll be taken care of, they respect the players, and it builds cap space. You don't go and blow all that money like the Jaguars did with Nick Foles. Blow all that money and then it's dead money. Dead cap. Dead cap equals no cap. That's right. So, teams that recently gave their players contracts were the Chargers with Joey Bosa. Signed him to the largest defensive player deal in NFL history, which is like, a lot of fucking money. So that's pretty good. Good for him. I mean, that's generational wealth right there. I mean, it's a different front office there in Los Angeles for the Chargers, whereas back in San Diego, they always had GM problems wanting to pay players, not paying players, giving them bad deals. And up there now in Los Angeles with Tom Telesco, they're looking pretty interesting. It's going to be interesting. It'll be a good year in Los Angeles. However, Mike Williams is out for a couple weeks with an injury, so that leaves Keenan Allen and who else, nobody knows. But it'll be an interesting year in Los Angeles with the Chargers and the Rams. New episode of HBO Hard Knocks is tonight too. It's a Tuesday, so tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. New episode of Hard Knocks on HBO Max and regular HBO if people still have cable. I don't really use it, except to watch The Real Housewives, but that's only Potomac, and sometimes Beverly Hills, because Potomac, man, those women are wild. I mean, not in a good way, because I don't really like any of them. I only watch it because of how petty they are. It's kind of weird. It's also interesting how much of a gold digger they are. I mean, it's crazy. Like Ashley, her husband's this old Australian guy. Looks like it could be her grandfather. His balls probably hang down to the floor. And yeah, she marries him, right? And in their contract, in the prenup, it has that if she's married to him for a certain amount of time, she gets X amount of money for X amount of years. It's like, bro, you signed into the prenup that you're gonna get fucked over. And then she baby locked him. Oh man, for the first couple seasons, he didn't want a kid. He said, let's work on the business, in his Australian accent. I don't know how to do one unless it's Crocodile Dundee. And obviously, she wanted a kid. She was trying to baby lock his ass. And what happens? Now she's pregnant. Last season she was pregnant. This season she had the fucking kid. And it's like, it doesn't look anything like her. Oh my god. I mean, it has her high-ass forehead, higher than LeBron's. But it's like, oh my god. It's like a little clone of the father. Michael, it's like, oh, Michael, no! It's like an alien with blue eyes, and it's not the creepy, weird blue eyes you see on some kind of like, ginger people, I guess. No offense to gingers. I have a friend, Ginger, Matt Provost. He's in the Marines. Shout out to the Marines. It's more of those like White Walker blue eyes that you see in Game of Thrones, where it's like, oh shit, you know you're in big trouble when the White Walker opens its eyes, and then the baby's gonna probably like go, ah, like let out a demon screech, and you know shit hits the fan when that fucking happens. It hits the fan. Hits the fan quick. Winter's coming. It's 2020, COVID. And next on the list, we have NFL teams cancel and alter practices after false positive COVID-19 tests. So, like, basically between August 12th and August 20th, the NFL did, you know, so many COVID tests for the players, the staff, faculty, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they had a bunch of positives. You know what happened? There were no positive tests. They're all tested in the same lab, and that makes you wonder where it's like a case with Matt Stafford, quarterback for the Detroit Lions. And he gets... A couple months ago, along with Gardner Minshew, they both get dinged for a positive COVID-19 test. Turns out it was a false positive. Sorry. It's like one of those burps where you gotta burp, but then you don't burp all the way, so you're kind of just like... Yeah. And so, then he gets dinged for a false positive. And it's like he's getting death threats like, oh, we're gonna fucking kill you. Oh, you ruined the Detroit Lions season. You know, the Detroit Lions didn't have a fucking chance anyway, guys. So, not to bust your balls, Detroit, but, I mean, you kind of brought it on yourselves. You didn't pay Barry Sanders, and you didn't pay Megatron. In fact, you're still not trying to pay Megatron the money you owe him, and that's why he left. So, you know, it's all bad in Detroit. It's all bad in Michigan. I mean, Harbaugh can't beat Ohio State. You got Flint. It's cold. Yeah. So Michigan. And there have been more than 100,000 tests conducted in the NFL so far during this whole COVID thing, and less than 1% have tested positive. Interesting. Not saying this isn't something to be worried about. COVID's a very serious thing, but, you know, looking like some fools out here. It's like Fauci saying, hey, you don't need a mask, and then you need a mask, then you don't, and then they go, oh, why don't you trust us? Well, because you're indecisive and you're not telling us everything, so how can we trust you? Anyways, that'll be it for the first episode of the TheHapaPodcast video. I kind of did it short. This is more of like a run-through, but episode 6, and we'll be back probably tomorrow. What's today? August 24th, or 5th. Oh yeah, so August 26th, probably come back, do a recap of Hard Knocks from tonight's episode. Hard Knocks episode 3 on HBO Max and HBO. Yeah, thank you very much. Alright, have a nice day. Bye.